Well, it's noon here on Monday, May 1st, and this is news that you can use from CarEdge with your hosts Zach and Ray. It's good to see you again today. I haven't really had a chance to speak to you since our sons got blown out on Saturday night. But hey, what are you going to do?
What are you going to do? Happy Monday, Pops. It is good to be back with you. As always, I like your shirt, and your face looks especially nice today. Looks like you shaved.
Well, I didn't shave, but I did trim a little bit of my mustache.
Yeah, you can see it. Like right there. It looks good. I'm proud of you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so here's the deal, Dad.
I can groom at almost 72. I want you to know that. I did learn how to groom.
Yeah, it's interesting, though. You never really taught me how to shave, but that can be for a different day. Dad, after hours today, Ford is doing earnings, and we've got a preview from Cox Automotive. Interesting trend here, folks. Average transaction prices at Ford have gone up even more. So what did I do, Dad? I dug into the data. And Ford is going to spin their earnings as being great, just like General Motors did last week or 2 weeks ago, whatever it was. What do you think, Dad? And this is a question to everyone in the chat as well. What do you think the market days supply is for a new Ford F-150 Lariat? And we all should now know that the Lariat is the one that is, I can actually pull that data up here in a second. That's a $70,000 at minimum pickup truck. What do you think the days supply of inventory nationwide is for that, Dad?
120 days?
Up. Let's get some guesses in the chat. Up.
180?
168 days supply of Ford F-150 Lariats nationwide. To give you some perspective here, Dad, there are over 16,000 of them actively for sale in the United States. 4,300 have sold in the last 45 days. We're going to get Ford earnings today. They're going to spin them, folks. They are absolutely going to spin them. Fleet sales, sure, fleet sales might be up. Average transaction prices might be up. We've got trucks, expensive trucks sitting, Dad. Buyers are abandoning Ford because of those sky-high prices. That's what I wanted to kick Monday off with. What do you think?
I don't know. You read the stats and Ford sales are actually up 10% year over year, volume-wise, that they had a great quarter. Now, what percentage of that increase was due to fleet sales, I don't know. But their increase in sales year over year was greater than their competitors. So, I'm not quite sure how you get to, after all that, buyers are abandoning Ford because of their sky high prices. It very well could be that some truck buyers are waiting and sitting out the market. And I also read in that article that Ford's incentive spend dropped 34%. So apparently Ford doesn't think that buyers are abandoning them yet, because if they did, they would actually increase their incentive spend.
Operative word is yet. So these earnings, they look in the rear view mirror. We talk about this all the time. Pretty much all the data sources we have look at the past, and then we talk about how that should influence the future. First quarter from Ford will show, and does show, and here I'll pull it up on the screen so we can all look at it together. Let me pull this up, folks. Give me one quick second. It's a Monday. I'm not as sharp as I should be. Ford's quarterly earnings will show.
Yes.
We'll start at the top here. We'll do sales. Sales increase. Sales were up 10% year over year for the first quarter. 471,868 units.
Just scroll down to the bottom of that chart, because the really interesting thing is just how steady Lincoln is.
Yeah, there's a Lincoln dealership across the street here. I'm going to head over there later this afternoon and talk to them over there. What the heck's going on there? So Ford's going to come out and they're going to say sales are up 10%, and that is for Q1. We can't. That's what it is. They're a publicly traded company. They got to be honest about these things. How much of that is fleet sales? We'll have to wait for their earnings to see. And they will also talk, Dad, about how their average transaction price is up to $55,711, 13% higher than it was in the same quarter a year ago. F-150s, Dad, are up, or excuse me, F-Series pickup trucks are up 7% year over year. The average transaction price of an F-Series pickup truck, $66,000. So all of that is true. That is all rear view. And at the same time, They slashed incentives by 34% year over year for the first quarter. So how the heck can I come on here and I say buyers are abandoning Ford? Because the only data I have, Dad, that's forward looking
Yes.
would be when you go and search for a doggone F-150, a new F-150 Lariat. This is not nationwide. This is going to be in our area. Oh, I got to log into my proper account. Give me a second here, folks.
As opposed to your improper account. I like that.
Only one of my accounts has Zach Chef 77.
Has the information you're looking for.
Yeah,
access to the information you're looking. Even
I
don't
gotta
have
log
the access.
in.
You know, I don't get it. Why don't I have access? Why do I have to pay a premium? I'm a co-founder, damn it.
Pops, you know how we operate here. Everyone has to pay.
Everybody has to pay. It's kind of like a doc fee.
So here in our neck of the woods, there's a 225-day supply of F-150 Lariats. And I just told you that nationwide's 168 days.
Yes.
So that's the only future-looking or real-time data I can get my hands on, Pops. That's the only data that I can get that doesn't say, hey, last quarter, prices were up 13%, incentives are down 34%, and we sold 10% more. The only data I can see is right now that tells me there's 220-plus day supply of F-150 Lariats in our area, in 200 miles of this area. That means buyers are not buying those things.
Okay. And your point is that buyers are abandoning Ford. So the question becomes not to be a contrarian, but the question becomes how many GMC pickup trucks, comparable GMC pickup trucks, are there in the market area? How many comparable Chevy Silverado pickup trucks are there in the area? How many comparable Ram pickup trucks are there in the area? And then you might be able to tell if buyers are abandoning Fords or buyers are just abandoning pickup trucks. But that probably wouldn't play as well with your hyperbolic headline.
The days supply, Dad. Let's do Silverado 1500s. Let me do the national. Give me one quick second.
Just do the same. Just do the same market area that you just did for Ford.
Okay, sure. Let's do it right now.
Yeah, why wouldn't we do, that way we can compare apples to apples or comparable vehicles.
So this is going to be, I've currently got it for Silverado 1500s, the ZR2 trim, which I think is one of the top trims on the 1500. We've got, Dad, this ZR2 here. We'll click on it.
That's a 2022. Why don't you click on 2023?
Let's do 2023. Thank you.
Yeah.
Here we go over here.
Yes.
115 days, Dad.
Okay, big difference.
That's significantly less than the F-150. You want to do one more?
Sure. That's what we're here for. And this is a whole learning curve for both of us.
Absolutely, Pops.
Yeah.
All right, so we got Sierras.
Yeah.
The SLT trim. Around the same price point.
Yeah.
159 day supply. Not even close to where the Ford F-150 is, Pops.
There you have it. And what's the average transaction price for those two other models? They're probably comparable. Now, maybe the incentives are a little higher from Chevrolet and General Motors, GMC. I don't know. But yeah, maybe, just maybe, since manufacturers would really prefer to have a 60 to 90 day supply of any one type of vehicle, that maybe customers are just abandoning pickup trucks to a greater degree than other vehicles out there.
And Pops, what's interesting about this, what I find to be incredibly compelling on this Monday morning, is you also have headlines like this. Lithia, which is the largest car dealer in the United States.
Publicly traded dealer group in the country, yes.
Floor plan interest expense up 465 days.
No, 65%, 465%.
This is what I get for reading this comment at the exact same time. What data is derived from the 168 days? 465%, Pops.
I would say that's a significant increase. Yeah. I would.
Can you explain to us? Can you explain to us what floor plan is and how it actually was for a period of time here at Profit Center for dealerships, and now their expense is up 465%?
When interest rates just 2 years ago were next to nothing, um, floor plan cost. And floor plan is the line of credit that dealers establish either with a captive lender or a large commercial bank to finance their inventory purchases, both new and used, and to finance those inventory purchases on the new side from their manufacturer. And like any other loan, you have to pay interest on that money that's used. Now, when there was a true shortage of vehicles, manufacturers pay dealers floor plan assistance to help cover some of the cost of financing their inventory.
Yep.
Now, if the inventory doesn't sit, okay, the assistance that you get from the manufacturer actually turns into a profit for the dealership because you're collecting that money whether or not the vehicle sits or whether you've sold it right away. And in many cases, the vehicles were sold right away. So floor plan interest was minimal, if anything at all, and in many cases a profit center. Well, floor plan interest rates have tripled over the last 2 years. The amount of inventory sitting in dealers' inventory, especially when you look at trucks, has gone up dramatically, the day
Yep.
supply. So the manufacturer's floor plan assistance isn't covering the entire cost of your floor plan interest. So it's now become an expense again. So you look at Lithia, and what used to be a profit center for them is now a quarterly expense that comes off of their bottom line.
And it's non-trivial. It was nearly $30 million.
Yeah, $30 million is a lot of money, even to a major corporation.
And so is there not a confluence of events happening at the exact same time? Interest rates are going up. Those interest rates, obviously, for consumers, but also the interest rates that dealers pay on their lines of credit. That's going up. The amount of inventory, particularly large trucks sitting, is going up.
Yes.
And the willingness for consumers to actually go purchase that at those sky-high prices is down. There's fewer consumers in the market.
Yes.
So does this not lead to a situation where eventually the hands of these dealers will be forced? If you're Lithia and you're looking at a $30 million expense, or we could turn inventory more quickly, and let's say it costs us $30 million in profit to turn that inventory more quickly, but on those $30 million worth of profit that we of inventory we turned more quickly, we made back $10 million in F&I profit. Is that not the logic? I mean, that has to be the logic. There has to be discount. Yeah.
Of course, that's the logic. It's like, would you give me $1,000 to get a $4,000 return? I'm pretty sure you would. If you had to think about it for any length of time, then God help you. So yes, I mean, these dealerships, these large corporations are going to look at it and they're going to suggest to their staff, the quicker you turn this stuff, which has always been the way they want it done, the quicker you turn this stuff, the more opportunities we give F&I, the greater the likelihood that we can increase our F&I penetration and our F&I profits, and we can cut down on our floor plan expense. Ultimately, it makes us net more money. Yeah, I can see that happening. Yeah, I can see the directive coming down from up above, almost from God himself. Yeah.
Yeah, God being Brian DeBoer, whoever the CEO is at the time. Yeah, no, exactly. I think it's pretty interesting. We're at the inflection point. At least I feel like we're at the inflection point. And being with Brandon the other day at the auction and seeing all the repos there, it's not just the new car side. I think it's happening on the used car side as well. Is there a huge shortage of used cars? Yeah, absolutely. There's a huge shortage. Is there a significant shortage of people buying those cars at those jacked up prices? Yeah. Will the two neutralize each other? Probably. But you've got to imagine prices come down at least a little bit. And it's not just us talking about it anymore, Dad. There was this headline in Automotive News.
Yeah.
I wonder if they watch our videos. Full-size trucks are easier to find after shortages as spring selling season intensifies. That's one way to spin it.
Yeah. Well, the other way to spin it is full-size trucks are sitting on dealers' lots. But this is an industry publication, and they don't want to strike fear in the hearts of the dealers just yet. Yeah, it's inventory is growing.
Yeah, that's a good thing, I guess. And it is for us as consumers who want to go buy and not
It
have
is.
to wait months. We did that poll. We had the video go out last week on the CarEdge channel. Tons of people are walking away from factory orders because they've been waiting a year plus to get it in some cases. So the idea of being able to find something you actually like, that's coming back to reality. And it's not the same for all brands. It's still the same story. You want to go find a Toyota Prius Prime, you just can't.
Yeah, you're not going to do it.
But we are starting to head back. It seems like that we are starting to head back to the way things used to work, and that's net, I think, a positive for customers, and a trend that we are starting to see with full size pickup trucks, and one that will inevitably happen across the other brands as well. So I think on this Monday, the idea of positioning today's show about Ford buyers are abandoning them because of sky high prices, net not a bad thing. The fact that inventory is building up, not a bad thing. It's going to create opportunities for discounting, and I would be very surprised if another year goes by and we see incentives down even more, if we see prices continue to go up. I think we're at that breaking point.
If we're not at that breaking point, we're certainly rapidly approaching it. And so, yes, I think it's a good thing. What has been a bad thing for consumers for the past 2.5 years is that there has been limited inventory, and it's the number one rule of economics: supply and demand. When demand is high and supply is low, people pay more than they necessarily would have in the past because there's that fear of missing out. Okay, that if they don't spend the extra money now, well, it'll cost even more later because there'll be fewer of them to choose from. And now that we're starting to see inventories build up again, well, then we should be moving towards the other direction, where when there's more supply than there is demand, that prices usually tend to go down. Now, we haven't seen it to any great degree, although we did see in March, for the first time in 20 months, that the average transaction price across the board fell below MSRP for the first time in 20 months. Didn't fall a lot below MSRP. I think it was like $117 or $171, whatever it was. It was not a lot of money, but it was a move in the right direction. Now, having said that, we also know that manufacturers are continuing, other than Tesla, are continuing to increase the MSRPs on their vehicles.
Yeah.
So, if the MSRP goes up 5% and there's a 1% discount below MSRP, well, you're still paying more than you would have 6 months ago or a year ago. We need to see a large adjustment in pricing to make these things affordable and to actually have them move rapidly off of dealers' lots. But if they sit there, the dealer is faced with a huge finance charge that they're going to have to pay for their floor plan interest on those vehicles. They should be, by all accounts, motivated to make a deal.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Pops, another thing that I think is worth bringing up would be the fact that over on the community forum, there are so many recent success stories. The end of last month, there were tons of people out there buying cars. We were glad to be able to help them. If you are new to the Ray and Zach channel or CarEdge in general, you need to go check out the community forum. We've got Dwayne here. He had ordered a BMW back in March of 2022, went to the finance office, and just a huge success story. And a congratulations to Dwayne here. The Success Stories channel, Dad, has just been like blowing up. Truly, so many different deals have been done here recently. Thanks to Phil, Justice, Ashley, and the whole CarEdge team, $4,100 in discounts on an F-250. So I really, really, really do encourage everyone to go spend some time on the community forum. We even have things like dealership reviews that get posted in here. Earl Stewart Toyota lives up to its reputation. So glad to be able to see that the community can come together here. And in this time where dealers are starting to discount again, you can find those who are good to work with. You can get a sense for what's a fair price to pay, things along those lines. And a friendly reminder that our promotion that was supposed to end at the end of April, we actually extended it one day. So it ends today. You can get 20% off if you want to be a part of CarEdge, it ends today. Just go check it out, CarEdge.com. And Dad, we have the CarEdge report coming soon. So proud of what we were able to do. That includes the state registration data. So we actually get transaction prices from state registration. We're going to be surfacing that. So all sorts of good things going on back at CarEdge as we start to see the market soften a little bit and create opportunities for customers.
May I pat myself on the back a little bit?
I would love that, Pops.
Okay, so yesterday, I've been retired for what, like 4.5, 5 years, something like that.
Yeah.
And I managed a mini store for quite some time before I finished out my service to the group that I worked for at their Audi store. So I get a text yesterday from one of my old mini customers, okay, Jeff, and he said, "You have time for a quick call?" Now, I've been retired for 4.5, 5 years, whatever it is, okay, but I remember Jeff, and I remember his wife Joni, and I remember his daughter, and he's had a 2002 Mini convertible. He has a 2012 Countryman. He has a 2016 convertible that he bought for his wife from me when we moved back to Towson. And the reason he wanted to talk to me, and I called him back, and the reason he wanted to talk to me is because his daughter, Valerie, is thinking of getting a Jeep. And, what kind of advice can I? So I said, go to our website. I mean, it's all there. I mean, 90% of it is absolutely free. Check out the CarEdge data so she can see how much the vehicle is going to cost her over the lifetime of ownership, how we score it, all the information that's available. And I did say that if she's not quite ready to sign up for, say, coaching, okay, and that we have a sale that was ending yesterday, which I find out is now ending today. So I did say, if Valerie's not ready to do that, let me know when she is, and I'll ask Zach for a special code for her. But the reason I'm patting myself on the back is, I've tried to paint myself as someone who was a little bit different when I was in the car business. Okay. Someone who worked with his customers, someone who counseled his customers, someone who cared about his customers, cared enough about his customers that on a Sunday afternoon, I would take the time out to call back somebody that was my customer. The last time I sold him a car was 7 years ago. Okay. But I always thought of him as a customer and a friend. And as I said to him, give Valerie my cell phone number. Tell her she can text me anytime she has any questions. I'll be more than happy to help her. So the reason I'm patting myself on the back is I don't just talk the talk, I walk the walk. Okay. If I say I helped customers, I would sit down and spend time with customers so we could make sure they were making the right financial decision. I said it because I did it. Okay. And I still do it today, even on a Sunday. I mean, and literally, Jeff and I probably talked for 20, 25 minutes yesterday afternoon.
Wow. That's awesome.
It's who I am.
It's the values that the company has. I mean, look at Justice is here in the chat saying, sign up and get 20% off the coach membership. I hear the car coaches are amazing. I hear they are really knowledgeable. Justice and the entire coach team works their butts off helping people every single day. It's the values that we bring to the organization. I'm so proud. That's the values that our community members have. That's why there's a robust community of people helping one another. So yeah, no, Dad, it starts with you, and it starts with your values, and you've really, really instilled them in me, and you've instilled them in the business, and it's the right way to live life, man. It's so rewarding to help others. It feels great.
It does feel great. And what did I give up out of my busy Sunday afternoon watching basketball? 20, 25 minutes. I helped someone. Okay. I set the stage to continue to help his daughter because I valued Jeff as a customer when I was actually still running dealerships.
Yeah.
and I value Jeff and his family as human beings, even outside of the dealerships. So it's 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 who we are, and it's the values that were ingrained in me from, I don't know, I guess my parents,
Yeah,
and
definitely.
from your mother, and just, I looked at the automobile business differently than most people that were in my position, and I tried to make the changes in the car business to make it easier for people.
Yeah,
And it wasn't just lip service; it was who I was and how I operated. So for all
absolutely.
of you who bash me for having been in the car business, and I must have been a gonif and taking advantage, I wasn't. I was actually trying to help people.
Definitely. Yeah, I linked to our company. You can meet the team and the principles and values that we hold near and dear. All right. I want to get your reaction, Dad. I had a video come out with Brandon on the Car
Y-
Questions Answered
Yes.
channel. I am very curious. Did you get a chance to watch it, Pops? I went to the
I,
auction with
I
him.
I watched the whole thing, and I must say, you bid on those cars almost almost as if you had done this a thousand times before. And what was really interesting was when you were trying to bid, and the auctioneer had no idea that you were bidding, and just disregarded any hand movements you might have had. Yes,
I laughed so much watching that because I looked like a kid in a candy store.
you
There was
were.
a comment on the video. Someone said Brandon is like the older brother to that guy, just like showed, and it was exactly that. It was like, whoa. And I think it's important to recognize here, I had never been to a wholesale auction before. I know a ton about them through all the research that we do and all of the people that we talk to. I had never physically been to one. Guys, they are
Yes.
insane. They are truly insane. They are going to go the way of the dinosaur sooner rather than later because it is the most inefficient way to sell inventory. And it was inefficient for Brandon and his team. It's inefficient for everyone there. It is just it is so strange to me that that's how we operate. And it comes from, Dad, how they used to do cattle auctions. I mean,
Well,
that's
yes,
like why it
it's an absolute auction. Yes, absolutely. It's no different than cattle auctions. It's no different than real estate auctions. It's no different from any other auction. And and first you have to train your ears to be able to understand what the hell it is the auctioneer is saying in is such a rapid pace as they are.
yeah.
Um, so a guy like me who wears hearing aids, well, I could really screw up big time. Uh, so yeah, I was glad to see you there. I was glad that you got to experience that. Yeah, the smile on your face was as broad a smile as I've seen on your face in quite some time. I don't think there was any way that you could have wiped that off your face on Wednesday. Or Thursday, whatever day you were there. I guess it was Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm glad you got to do it. I thought that was a great video. And I like the end of Brandon's video because yes, words are hard.
Yeah. Yeah, they
Yeah.
really are. All right, well, let's call it a show, Pops. We'll be back tomorrow.
I
Noon
do
Eastern,
believe. Yeah.
9
What
Pacific,
time will we be back
8
tomorrow?
8 Hawaii, 10 no, 0 Manila, 1
Mi-
Manila.
I think that would be midnight in Manila. Uh, 8 a.m. in Alaska, 9 a.m. in where's that? California.
California,
Pacific time, and I think it'll be noon around here.
6
Yeah,
Hawaii, 6 Hawaii. My bad, Justice.
yeah, yeah,
All right,
yeah.
folks, please tune in tomorrow. We look forward to seeing you then. Dad, have a wonderful Monday afternoon, and yeah, catch you later.
Yeah, you do the same. I love you. Talk to you
Love you too,
later.
Pops. See you guys.